We're back.
Powered by Riverside.
I love the song. It's great. Freaking awesome.
All right. The college football show.
The post-cap.
Episode
The
4.
post-cap recap.
Post-cap, episode 4, college football, week 2 recap. Out here, Chicago, Illinois, it's PMAC over there, Medford Lakes, New Jersey. We got Wheeze. So I'll start it off real quick. So obviously it's week 1 of NFL, a lot of NFL excitement. Ravens, Chiefs, great game. Eagles, Packers in Brazil, great game. College, all we really had was Michigan, Texas.
Yeah, I was the one poo-pooing it a little bit. Not, it's still college football, but it was
so all we had was really Michigan, Texas, and
it delivered
Sunday,
at every rung.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah. Yesterday sucked. NFL was horrible. So boring. College, Michigan, Texas, great. Couple other little games. Unbelievable day. What do you? Absolutely chaos.
It was. And I, if the noon slot doesn't perform, I'm okay with that because you don't want that to be the highlight of your day anyway. After that, there was good games at 3:30, 7:30, and then if you stayed up late, so the rest of the night for 10 hours, it was awesome. It was all over there. Even the ones that the regulars are watching.
The Big 12, Kansas State, Oklahoma State.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Amazing.
No, they were exactly, yes. But I mean, they were still lower key, but we were watching them. Yeah, they were huge. It was great. But I just mean, when you say Michigan, Texas, that's what everybody's looking at. And if you watch the whole thing, I guess, you want to really see each team go through the fourth quarter.
I mean, teams are favored by 21. You don't know it's going to be a barn burner like Oregon. We'll get to later. All right, so today we got first down. We'll go over games of the week, upsets and escapes. Second down, we'll get into Michigan, Texas, and of course Notre Dame, Northern Illinois. So we'll wait for second down to talk about those two games. Third down, we got our winners and losers of the week, and we'll go over top 25 rankings, a couple things there.
Let's get into it.
And then fourth down, we'll do our picks. Not great again, but we'll get there. And wilds of the week, a couple crazy things that happen, and we'll wrap it up. And then a couple days from now, we will have our week 3 preview coming out. Hopefully, it just gets better and better.
Yeah.
All right.
Did a couple of comments on the side, but maybe not on the actual uploading apps themselves. What the drinks of choice have been. Mine have been never alcohol. They've been water. Milk was episode 2, and now I'm on to apple tea.
Only water
Warm
for
tea.
Me. I only do water.
Only water. Good job. Wow. What a saint. What a saint.
All right, so
real
quick shout out to James Roseo, Jimmy Roseo. Remember him from high school? He sent me a private message. Love the show. He said, "Love the show. Awesome."
Oh, nice. That's great.
Yeah.
Shout out James. Cool. Blast from the past. Good for him. Thank you.
Yep.
Good to see you, bud.
All right, so let's go. These things are annoying me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I got these and I have our things down the bottom. You probably can't see it. First down, games of the week, upsets and escapes.
No, I can. That's great. All right, let's get into it.
Might get it to appear here. We'll see. All right, so games of the week and upsets and escapes. Whatever you want to start on. If you want to just touch on Iowa State first, that was crazy game.
That was freshest in my mind, a little underrated because that's obviously a huge rivalry, more so in the Midwest, but it was huge and no signs of life for Iowa State for much of the game, and they stole it right out from under them. Unbelievable. No life, and then
even like they were scoring, they drove right away, scored a
modern college football. Okay, 20 seconds, you can get a pass or two. How often does it really happen? You think in your head, all we need is 2 passes for 22 yards each, and we'll nail a field goal. Well, first one was like 40, then a little one, and then boom, knocked it through. 54-yarder, no doubter as an ex-kicker, or always a kicker. Yeah. They just drilled it. You don't see that a lot either.
Great comeback. I think they had a 10% chance to win at one point in the game, maybe an 8%.
Yeah.
Iowa, you can't just win half the games a year, 14-10.
Well, how often do they get a padded lead like that too, and then they just stopped and went flat once again? So, yep. But I'm more
crazy.
Yeah, I think it's still more about
Yeah,
Iowa
good
State
for Iowa
because
State. Yeah, their
it's more
offense. They
about
always
Iowa
have
State
something.
there.
They always have a decent passing game. Finally, they executed a little bit at the end there. So
Yep.
Iowa
Yeah,
State
I feel
takes
like
the
I seemed tired in the last couple possessions from what I watched because I couldn't watch every second of every game, just like you.
Yeah, they were trying to hold on. They weren't trying to make a play. They were
Yeah,
just trying to
exactly.
hold on somehow. And it
Sometimes that'll
wasn't,
get you
wasn't
bit.
gonna happen.
That'll get you bit. So even with as good
Wasn't
as the
gonna happen.
defense that is, that'll get you bit.
Yep.
No
Next
doubt.
up, Penn State survives.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah, kind of had that one off my radar. That was hairy.
yeah, it was 7-0 early. 7-0 early. Bowling Green. You're like, okay, maybe quarterback's playing well. Connor Bazelak playing well, and then it could turn into one of those routes. Penn State wins by 4 touchdowns. At the end just didn't happen. They stuck around. Harold Fannin
No,
Jr., receiver from Bowling Green, 11 catches, 137 yards. They just stayed in the game
yeah,
somehow and made it a
and
great
and,
game.
and that was the one like a whole different level of frustration because we'll tap on Oklahoma, Houston for a little bit, but those games are annoying. But when that team's going step for step with you and scoring, that's a different level of frustrating. Because you're like, oh, we're Penn State. We know we can outscore this team, run up and down. They're giving up touchdowns and big plays left and right. That was, a couple of buddies I was talking to. That was really grinding them. So totally different deal. But yeah, they escaped within 2 plays. They had a pick in their territory, and then a quick touchdown. So if you looked at the box score, you thought, first half they hung around. No, they were 90 yards away from losing that game.
Yeah, I think again that was a 4 touchdown spread, maybe a 30-point spread before the
That
game
was a
started. That
lackadaisical week 2
pretty
performance.
good
It
starting.
happens, and it seems to happen
Yeah.
quite often. But they come away with a win.
Also happened with Kansas State. They survived a little controversial couple calls at the end, but I think it was the right call on the push off
Yeah,
the offensive pass interference there. Kansas State survived. They beat Tulane. That's tough because
yeah. I mean,
Tulane at
listen,
home, they had a good chance.
Tulane maybe not the maybe we'll see what they are. Maybe not the same team as last year, but that's still 11-3 team. So
Yeah,
you know
yep,
that's
yeah,
a
they're
big
a good
win.
team, and they got Oklahoma next week. So
You ain't gonna
yeah,
kill them
Kansas
all. So
State.
you're not
Kansas
gonna
State
kill them
was my
all.
pick. Did you have Kansas State making the playoff as a second
No, I
Big
did
12?
not.
I had them. Yeah, so I had them. So that
Oh,
was
nice.
they survived it.
Kudos to
Yeah,
you. Yeah, you
speaking of
survived.
Tulane,
You're on your way to the playoff with Kansas State.
no, well, I don't know
No.
who to pick. I mean, it's chaos. The whole thing. It's like
Yep,
picking
yep.
the NCAA tournament. It's picking the NCAA
You
tournament.
survived. You survived by 2 against for an upset. You're
Mhm.
good.
Yep. Speaking of Tulane next week at Oklahoma, Oklahoma survived. Up 14-3 early, looking good. Offense completely shut down. Still had the jersey in the background, almost got rid of it. No, I didn't. But tough. Danny Stutzman pretty much did it for him. 15 tackles,
Stud.
MVP of the game. And their punter had 8 punts, 44 yards apiece, at 5 inside the 20. Like, yeah, like our All American linebacker and our punter really helped us out in that game. It's hopefully that's a wake up call. Obviously, Houston lost 27-7 to UNLV
Yeah, and
last
you
week,
always
so hopefully,
take it for granted. Oh, we should have beat them more. All that stuff. But hey, hanging on and in an impressive way. I'm just mean an impressive way of doing it when you had special teams and defense stepping up when they had to. You watch weeks like that, or let's say you're busy, you didn't watch all 4 quarters or whatever the deal. That's huge for their season. You don't know what that means down the road. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's a building block. Yeah, are the regular fans pissed? Yeah, how could it be that close? Houston's not the team it was, of course, but they're not feeling that way. Especially on defense, they gave up
you
12
got to
points.
win.
They
Yep,
they
you got
they
to
they
win.
were
You got
gritty and they hung in. So offense another side, but you got to survive. You got to survive the clunkers,
That's why
and
this segment
that
was
that has
certainly
that has
survived.
happened to OU over the years. In the last
Yeah,
in the last decade or so.
yep.
So
And another team that survived, Bama, they ended up winning by what
yeah,
20, 28, but they're
another box score look,
26
but
something.
they were just 5.5 minutes, right?
Right
And
there.
and
Yeah,
South Florida had the ball.
right there. Right there.
Yep.
Bama
So
survives. They don't look that great. South Florida looks
quiet,
pretty
sleepy
good.
week two performances by some big teams.
Yep. Bama gets away with it. Syracuse beats Georgia Tech. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
Georgia
nice
Tech
win in the
slow
dome.
start. Beat Florida State. They're looking good. They're ranked
Yeah, what's called
23, and Syracuse is supposed to be
Kyle McCord
promising.
is slinging around.
Yeah,
You got a pro quarterback in that dome, and
yep.
what looks to
McCord
be a
started
good
off
coach
hot,
that learned
and
a lot at Georgia. So I like him. I did go against him, but hey, good result.
yeah,
Close game.
he started hot, and then he had a big 3rd and 10 with 2 minutes left. He
Yep.
completed a
Clinch it.
51-yard pass, and that's it.
Nice
And then
performance.
we have Cal's defense beats Auburn, 4 picks for Auburn. Tough
I
look, because
mean,
Auburn was one of the worst in the
I
SEC.
don't.
That's a tough
I
couple
thought
of
at
years.
least that my thought would be that there was some hope. Obviously, not top half of the SEC hope for them, but that's a letdown real quick. I mean, besides maybe Florida's first week, that's a crusher right there. Honestly,
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that kills you. It does. So
And then I'm gonna wait
yeah, we're gonna focus on the big
for
two, but
winners and losers.
I want,
We'll touch on
yeah,
Nebraska, Colorado for winners and losers. If that's all right with
yeah,
you.
it sounds good. Yeah,
We'll do
let's
two
move
more
on.
games here. Yeah, real quick, 2 more games for the games week. No, just surviving. Liberty survived as a 22.5 point favorite. A
You're
lot of
gonna say
people picked
Arizona?
them as the power four to get in, and they were done. They had a 12% chance to win with 10 minutes left, and
Wow.
Sacks fumble TD turned it around. Liberty, they survived. And then another survive. It just ended up being an amazing game. I didn't get to watch all of it. Oregon, Boise State. Did you end
Yeah,
up
I
watching
watched
the
most of it.
whole thing? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and again, Oregon's week one performance way different from this. Boise's good. I don't know how 19 points were out there for them. They're a
Yeah.
good team. They're back. They've been on people's previews for jumping into the playoff and all. Nice win for Oregon. Hard fought win, a battle, and
Yep.
there's something they can build off of. I
Yeah.
thought you were
They
going to
built.
mention real quick. I thought you were going to say maybe Arizona. I'm wondering what Northern Arizona's doing on defense to only allow 22 points against that offense. Pretty good.
That's true. Yeah. No, that's true too. And yeah, Dylan Gabriel had to come back 4 minutes left, the game-winning drive or the field goal clinching
Yep.
drive. 3 incompletions for Dylan Gabriel, and they're down 7 with 10 minutes to go. Three. That's not a
Unbelievable.
great sign for Oregon. They
Yeah,
escaped.
you wonder, that's usually a good sign. It's bad.
And then Maddox Madsen, the quarterback for Boise, he was 17 for 40, and Oregon still almost lost the game. They held them 23 incompletions. Boise
Unreal.
State
Great
three
stats there.
incompletions. Oregon, they almost beat them. Shout out to
Yeah, something's going on there.
Genti, um, running back from Boise, had 192 yards. He just plowed through.
Yeah,
But
their run game was effective. It was ball control day for them, which is probably how they want to play in a game like that.
great game. Yeah,
Pretty good scoring for for that level.
yeah,
For that
yeah. All
level of
right.
ball control, they were both trying to play.
For sure. So second now, Michigan, Texas. No, we didn't even get. We had a bunch of games already went over. We didn't even get into Michigan, Texas, Notre Dame, Northern Illinois. Let's start with Michigan, Texas. Michigan, obviously, we talked about in the preview, lost 17 starters, 10 on offense. Yeah, they're just not the team. They're not going to be a team. I don't think. I don't think they're
Yeah, I mean that's really saying
7
something. I just you pointed out before we did our preview and our picks. I still thought they would have. I just thought they were such a well-oiled machine that I figured they would be able to stay in a dogfight game like that. And clearly, and kudos to Texas, but it's more about Michigan here. They're obviously
Yeah,
young
tough.
and replacement, obviously. And
Yeah.
even when it comes down to the
Yeah,
quarterback,
they just
they didn't even know what they were doing. And then when the backup came in, it was clearly run, which is like, well, they bring him in to run, and then he runs. And they said that 5 times, and I know they were scared to throw. The third down came, they were still running. So at one point, it seemed like they were mailed in, try to keep some respect. But
yeah,
so that was on that
no,
side. But
maybe
Texas was,
it could have been way
hey,
worse. Could have been way
hey,
worse.
maybe I'm underselling Quinn Ewers. I said before, I know he's good.
He's
I
a
know he's
great
very good.
quarterback.
I
Yeah,
don't know if he's
yeah.
really good or awesome. And what a game! And
He
they
had
could
the
have
injury
scored more.
two
They could
years
have
ago,
scored
but
50 plus
he's
easy.
just really good. I think he's
Yeah, they got guys everywhere, and
definitely
Michigan
MVP.
got tossed around up front, which is always my big key, and that's what
Yeah,
happened.
and then note on that, Sharon Moore, he didn't have the contract signed before the game. It happened uh, after the game. It was assigned, and a lot of Michigan fans at halftime were like, "Yeah, we don't want to sign him."
Rip it up. That's
Yeah,
good.
a lot of online
Rip
chat,
that sucker
obviously.
up.
But it's true. And one thing I wanted, like Harbaugh, you're not going to turn into a Nick Saban. You're not going to win all those championships. Like your team's. Did he know his team's just not going to be good this year? Let me just
Yeah,
sell. He stuck with McCarthy and
not
Blake
getting into
Corum
all
and
of it,
them
but there was
for
like 5
3 years.
factors and really reasons to get out of Dodge, and that was
Yeah,
probably one of them. Sure.
yeah. I mean, if he thought
Yeah,
he was going to maybe go
that
7-2,
team
11
built.
and 1 and a shot, he might have stayed.
Yeah,
I
this
think.
wasn't Bama or Georgia stamina. This team built, and those guys were there when they were young, and guys were third, fourth year guys that built that team to get to that level because they had to get better every year. They weren't good enough 2 years ago against Georgia. Got blasted off the field in the playoff, and they got to that level. And he probably recognized too. Besides being able to get Herbert and all his things and whatever they were dealing with through the NCAA, he probably a quarter of that probably then was, hey,
It was a
I don't want
perfect
that.
time. It doesn't happen as much. It happens more in probably in
Yep.
college basketball, like
Yep.
for a college football, because just to go back to the NFL right off into the sunset on his horse after winning the national championship last year.
Calculated move
Good decision by him.
by old Jimmy boy.
Michigan's in trouble. I don't think anyone thinks they can beat Oregon and Ohio State. And if they run the board
Yeah.
with the rest of them, if they
Lot
beat
to,
Washington, Indiana, and them, then
lot to improve, no doubt.
maybe. But
That's a tough
nine and
performance
three
at
and
home.
not having a big win, I don't think they. They're in trouble.
No, yeah.
We'll see. It's week one. They're their second game. We'll see if they can turn it around. They didn't look good against Fresno either, though, week one. So
Sure.
yeah, and then all right, and then let's get into. Well, let me talk about Texas real quick. I think they might be the best team in the country, and I've never said
All
that in my
facets.
life.
Wow, that's
I,
tough for you to swallow.
hate saying it. It's the worst thing ever to say. They just
Yeah.
beat Texas on the road. They play Oklahoma and Georgia, and then their other games are they have their other tough ones. Tough one. All teams with one loss. They play Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, A&M. Unfortunately, all kind of look like frauds. I almost can't even imagine them losing more than 2, 3 at the most. So
Is that our first playoff chalk? Is that's dead set? Now I'm just worried about seeding 2 weeks
yeah,
in. That's usually what I do, and you hate me for it, but you're making the call there.
you
We'll
don't
remember.
put stuff in stone like this game's
Yeah,
over.
yeah,
I'm
this is
done.
set. Yeah, game's over.
Hang on a
First
little bit.
quarter, game's over.
That's why I always tell you, don't watch.
Then don't
Don't think
watch the
that.
game. It's older brother
Yeah,
wisdom. I
and then it
usually don't
happens,
listen
and
to a
it's like,
lot of
oh,
it,
I
but
couldn't
some of it.
believe. Well, yeah, it's crazy, but just watch the game. Anyway,
So your
and
love
then
of
Northern
Texas.
Illinois, Notre
Continue with
Dame.
your love of Texas. Oh, are you done with it?
Yeah, I'm done with Texas. Can't do it.
Okay, so they're in the playoff. Great. So anyway,
Northern
yeah,
Illinois, Notre Dame.
this is. There's always a storyline, and sadly, in 5 years, people are like, who'd they lose to that day? When they can get the ball moving again. Yeah, this is $1.4 million. That's tough to swallow. They paid them 1.4 to get beat.
Yeah,
Happened to
1.4
Florida
to
one
lose.
time with Georgia Southern in 2013. Obviously, a couple other schools before Michigan, had that fate dealt to them before. And yeah, interesting that he was honest enough, Freeman, to say, yeah, we drank our own Kool-Aid. We bought the hype, and we didn't show up and got embarrassed on our home field.
Yeah, he took it. Notre Dame. I mean, their strength of schedule preseason comes to 41. I don't believe that. I think they're more like 60 or
Yeah,
70. There's no way. I mean, they have USC. They're favored against the rest. If they lose one more, they're definitely out. They might. Well, they're fortunate that USC is looking
no,
really good.
it's interesting because nobody's going to have that loss. You could lose to Georgia. Just give a scenario. You could take a 10-2 SEC team or whatever, and let's say they lose to 40. Lose to Georgia by 40. No worse is lost than losing to Northern Illinois at home. So
And then
I have
who's to
no
say,
argument.
hypothetically, Notre Dame fans, all right, well, if we win the last 10, we should be at 11-1, probably beating USC at that. Who says you're going to win 10 straight? You just lost to Northern Illinois.
Yeah, exactly. That's
How's
tough
that
because
gonna happen?
they're not given the same level of leeway as some of these other teams, and they're not, and they never have.
Yeah. No, and then obviously shout out to Northern Illinois, biggest win in school history,
Yeah,
first
awesome.
top 10,
Good for that coach. That was great. I like
first top
moments
10
like that.
victory ever for them. Yeah, crying on the side.
Yeah,
It was great.
yeah. It was awesome. Had to be a heck of a. I guess I don't know. Maybe they're on a bus from there. Do they get a quick flight? I don't know. I got to check how far that is.
Northern Illinois. So I'm
I don't know.
South
I don't know
Bend's
where the
about
budget
2 hours
is.
from here, I think, from Chicago. So that Northern Illinois, I don't even know where it's at. I'm assuming it's about 2.5 hours. So it's probably 4 or
4.5.
5 hours. Depends how northern they are. But yeah, 4 or 5 hours.
I'm sure they flew in, but if they didn't, with the 1.4 million, I'm sure they can fly in the future if they have to,
Yeah.
or wherever
Although
they
that
go.
coach, he was pumped up. He was crying emotionally. They might have went to the club or something. Could be. No one got in trouble.
Well,
That's a big win.
we'll see. Maybe we'll
But
hear
yeah,
some
so
more
Notre
news on
Dame
that
in
in the future.
trouble. And big shout out Northern Illinois, biggest win in
Yeah,
school
awesome.
history.
Great for them, obviously.
Top
This is
10
what makes
victory.
college
Yeah,
sports.
unbelievable.
It's like an upset in the NCAA tournament. It's sick. Good for them. It's great. Hopefully we'll hear more about them when we get into Maction.
money.
Hopefully, hear more about that when we get into Maction towards the end of the year. When it's Tuesday night football. Because why would you not be watching that when it's freezing out? It's
Which
great.
was the last time they were good. Who's the quarterback from Northern Illinois like 10 years ago? Who was that guy? Started with a C.
Putting us on the spot. We're usually pretty good at this, but
The white kid, he's a runner. He was a runner.
Dang, that's tough.
Well, maybe we'll come up with the next episode.
Yeah,
Northern Illinois, they had that quarterback. It was almost like a Johnny Manziel type quarterback that I think when they went 10-2, that was their last best season. That was probably might have been 12 years ago. They just started doing the Mac Tuesdays 15 years ago.
Yeah. That's a good memory of that. Wish you could pull the name, but that's good. Yeah, Maxim's awesome. So, again, we'll put that on the radar a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get
Move on.
into
Good segment.
segment 3 here. Talk about the bill. Third down. So winners and losers first, then we'll get into just a couple points in the top 25
Well,
rankings.
just take our own. My big one, if I can lead it off, was going to be.
You want to start with let's go with winners.
Winners. Well, I'll go. Yeah, sure. I'll go. I'll throw out a winner and then a loser. For me, I didn't want to pick it, but I think NC State's still pretty good, and I think Tennessee looks very good. The problem is you're just going to get, what does very good mean in the SEC? Maybe you're fifth and you're very good, but I already think they're very good. So that's a quick winner. Not going to go.
I had them also. Not much to talk about.
They smothered them. They were big play, smothering them. Oh.
And that included a pick 6 that Tennessee had, right? I believe it was a pick 6.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be a tough team, and I was wrong last week to I thought that was a home game, so it was not. But
I did too. Yeah, where they played.
That probably played a little bit, but they still got.
They played in Charlotte. Yeah, I thought they were home too.
They got ran off.
I don't even have NC State as a loser. I just have Tennessee as the winner.
Exactly, they got ran off the field, and then I'll stay in the SEC. Kentucky's at that point now, right? Steve Spurrier always said 10 years somewhere. Even Saban found that out, where they don't appreciate you enough. What you did for them is not good enough. Time to bolt. Mark Stoops, did he have his opportunity and say, I'm just going to stay here, stick it out? I'm not going that. I'm not saying he deserves to obviously leave, but is this maybe the beginning of foreshadowing? They got walloped. And with the SEC being so deep, you just wonder, well, if we were 5th, 6th in the conference, hanging in that high middle ground as teams rise, somebody's got to drop, and it feels like they could be on that end with a performance like that. Because they've been tough. I almost wonder if their best years, especially under him or just recently, are behind him.
Yeah, to South Carolina, who was supposed to be bad this year. I mean, they lost Spencer Rattler. He didn't end up being some Heisman candidate, but he was serviceable. He would have drives.
They don't really get waxed like that over the last 5 years, mainly with Stoops. They're a tough team, and they got waxed.
No, it's a shame, Mark.
That's my two at the top.
It doesn't look good for them going forward. Yeah, I'll do a winner. Real quick, Illinois, they rushed the field, but Kansas was supposed to be a big time team. It's a 5.5, 6-point spread. Kansas comes into Illinois. Big week for Illinois. Northern Illinois University. Down Kansas. They rushed the field. It's one of those ones you're ranked.
Well, Vegas knew something with the line there for sure.
Yeah.
If I closed my eyes, I thought that would be over a touchdown for sure. So, what do I know?
And it was exactly a touchdown minus extra point for Illinois. And then I'll do a loser, Arkansas. They blew a huge lead. Oklahoma State just looked pretty bad. Arkansas got the offense going early, even after losing their big quarterback from last year. I love Jefferson. I thought he was going to, be a great player. KJ Jefferson, I think he went to UCF. I forget where he went to, but they just looked great. Some bad coaching decisions. They blew it against Oklahoma State.
Tough one. When you're Arkansas, you have that lead. It goes out saying you got to close a win like that. That could be at the end of the season.
Be at like the 8th.
That could be the bowl. That could be the bowl and keep your job for another year for the coach. Yeah, and something to build off of. Oklahoma State has plenty of respect around the country. So
that was tough. And then I'll go with a win. You got any other winners, losers? I got a couple more.
Yeah, I'll just go because of the rivalry, and it gets them off to which is a nice start. Is Iowa State, no doubt. Ugly, turned it around. So I'll just take them as a winner. Again, we already kind of went into that game. And then I
And
guess losers.
besides Utah, no one's looking too amazing in the Big 12. So
Yeah,
that would
well, and
flip the
even they're
other
going under
outcome.
the radar. So yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been kind of quiet out there. Yeah, teams barely hanging on or just underperforming in the first 2 weeks. I'll go, obviously, Notre Dame. That's probably the disaster of the week.
Yep.
And then you know, Colorado
And
probably
then
doesn't
I think
deserve
we have
it.
an obvious
Colorado probably
one.
doesn't deserve a mention, but they'll get honorable mention just because they got waxed, they got ran out of the
Yeah.
building, and it kind of
And
shows
I'll do,
where
we
they're at,
have,
where they're at for a standpoint physicality against teams like Bat Rule, who is just doing the trajectory at Nebraska is very good.
yeah.
But they just got
But
manhandled
again,
once.
I was going to say that's our shared one. It's a winner. We'll go over that one now. Then I have a couple. Winner, Nebraska, like Matt Rule, what is second year, right? Maybe it's
Yeah,
his second year.
that's it. It's coming
And then
quick.
loser, Colorado. So
He's a great
obviously,
football coach. Matt Rule's a great football coach.
yep. Dylan Raiola, he's ready. Freshman quarterback from
Yep, I
Nebraska.
said it wrong. His dad, I forgot his dad was with the Lions. So I think he was with some of those tough years with the
Oh
Lions.
yeah,
So the kid learned to be tough.
I remember that.
Now I
Yeah,
remember seeing his number all the time. I thought it was either 50 or 59. Somebody's gonna make fun of him for that. I was just thinking, I was like, man, Denver, but no, he was the
That
Lions.
sounds familiar.
For
Yeah,
most of his
Lions. You
his
wouldn't
career.
remember it too much. They
Yep,
going through a lot. Yeah,
that was the old Lions. That was the old Lions.
maybe before. Yeah, before Harrington, right after Harrington. Yeah.
All right, so you had Nebraska, or you
And
had
then
Nebraska as
Colorado,
your winner.
obviously a loser. Both Sanders kids got hurt. I don't know their status. I think they're both fine. That's unfortunate. But yeah, they just looked horrible. 4 sacks in the first, I think, 18 minutes of the game. Shador got sacked 4 times right away. Nebraska was just ready to roll, and they
Yeah,
crushed 28-10 is nothing like it really
yeah,
looked.
and
It should have been 42-3. It's
yep,
blowout.
yeah. Again, just showed at the line of scrimmage mainly.
Yeah.
It's the
And
good
then we'll
teams
move
do this
on.
on out.
Yeah, and then my last two was winner, Texas wide receiver Xavier Worthy, uh, rushing touchdown and then a receiving touchdown. Big, big showing from him. Obviously he's in the NFL. Xavier Worthy's in the NFL. Rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown. Quinn Ewers didn't even need it. Didn't need
It was good.
Whittingham. Didn't need Xavier Worthy.
You led me
Didn't
down a
need
hole there. I
anybody.
was like, I'll let him
They got
go, but
Isaiah Bond, had some catches early from Alabama.
I
They
got
got
dude.
tight end Gunnar Helm.
That's why I was saying they got
In there 4 years.
they replaced those
They don't
guys.
need it.
They had everything else. They lost some of those guys, but they're loaded now. They just replaced guys on the outside. They're loaded up
Yeah.
the jam.
Ewers looked unbelievable. So
They're
Xavier
prime.
Worthy doesn't matter. Good job him on the Chiefs.
They're
Rushing
prime.
touchdown again. Yeah.
Keep this moment in time with you talking about Texas like this. It's awesome
No, I got
for
to
people to
stop.
listen to in the future.
That's my last on
Shout out
Texas.
that.
Oh shoot! I have another. We have to talk about
We have
our
another Texas. All right,
no,
good. So
I guess anyway.
that wrap up your winners and losers.
Last loser is the college football apps. Yahoo Sportacular.
Ooh.
ESPN did a little bit. Fanatics Sports did it.
Oh,
Nothing
and that
was
Yahoo
correct.
Sport, the Sportacular is
Our
always
dad,
awesome.
our dad was
It was
driving
bad.
that day, so he's trying to follow it. Everything was about literally 3 to 5 minutes behind. Not even like 30 seconds. 5 minutes behind.
Yeah.
Wrong side of the field, wrong downs. Because we have. I don't have a setup with 6 TVs yet. Maybe one. I have one TV.
Yeah.
I'm trying to follow the games on the phone as well. No accurate information.
Awful.
And this happens all the time.
Nope. I know. I was just trying to watch OU as they were coming out fourth quarter, and I noticed I had to get off. And now I have an app on. I have Hulu Live. I had to go back for 2 seconds of another game just to see the score because they weren't coming along on the bottom, and the app was done. So it was a disaster. And it's not like having kind of Xfinity or whatever where you just know, hey, it's 8:53, ESPN2. I can just 853 and then click back real quick. You got to get out like of the app or hit down. That takes 10 seconds to load.
Teams in the red zone, they're at the 10.
Yeah, because I didn't need to see every play, but I had to see if Bama, are they really, is it real? They're 5.5.
ESPN, whatever yours, 8:53. You turn back and you're like, oh, they just punted. It's a commercial.
Oh, no, exactly. Especially, it was a disaster.
Yeah, when they hire these tech guys, probably paying them, 3 or 6 figures, from another country, like you got to understand the game
Only
of football.
good thing,
it matters what side of the field.
We got to get with AI college football app or something going. They got to
It
figure
was
this
an
out.
embarrassment. We'll see if they can correct it next week. Complete embarrassment. Again, the whole day, it was 12 hours straight, 13 hours straight of looking through and just saying false information. We were trying to text some of our Oklahoma friends, and our dad, give him play by play because everything he sees is going to be wrong.
Sure.
If
Yeah,
you
no,
can't watch
no, great
sports,
call on the loser. So that's great.
yeah,
We'll end it
big
there.
loser for me, huge loser.
Huge
All right,
loser.
and then lastly, um, we'll get into
So,
our picks. We're getting not good. We're gonna get hot soon though. Our picks
I
real
mean,
quick.
maybe we won't.
Maybe
Speak
not.
for yourself.
Maybe not. We do have to pick the top five, kind of the biggest games. It's not like we can just go on a whim. I love South Florida against them. We can't pick them. We got to pick the top five main games. We might
Yeah.
switch it up, do some sleeper picks later. But Texas, Michigan, I hit on Texas. I think you had Michigan
Oh,
blowout there. Um, and Georgia Tech at
they did not
Syracuse.
cover.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. I had Syracuse. I got the win. Um, very good game late. They almost blew it late. Iowa State, Iowa. I thought I was going to start 3-0 because I went 1-4 last week. I was like, I'm ready to go maybe 5-0. Big
And
comeback,
I
Iowa
had
State.
outright.
Iowa
My only one of
State.
the week, Iowa State outright on
They
a
nailed it.
54
They nailed
yarder.
Iowa State. They came back, huge comeback win. And I was like, okay, we're in decent spots now.
Yep.
And then we have Tennessee at NC
Mm,
State. We both picked NC State. We both thought they
mm.
were playing their own. They played in Charlotte,
All right, I swallowed a
and
lot of words there.
we
They
just got crushed on that one.
land-based me.
And we got crushed on. I always like picking against it. Colorado. We just thought Shedeur Sanders, he was going to score at least maybe 3 touchdowns, maybe like a
I
28,
like road
20.
teams getting decent amount of points, and we're just way off.
They just
Not
got
much to
crushed.
say.
That was bad. It was just
Yeah.
tough. Very tough weekend. Again, next week we're not going to guarantee it yet, but we got to get 6 out of the 10 between the two of us to get back on the track.
Yeah, I think the thing
So
that would have been
four and
cool for them to
two,
leap the
two and
year
three,
with
when they're 4-1.
with Colorado because they're just going to get Pub and Dion and all, and that's fine. But at least if Hunter keeps having 2-3 touchdowns a week, that'd be kind of cool for them to, because why would he not get a look at the Heisman Trophy? You know what I mean? If they was
Yeah,
awesome week in week out every week, and he's obviously a stud, but he needs numbers and they can't get walloped.
sure.
It doesn't help them.
So going off of that, we'll do our wilds of the week. Just a segment we have. Anything that happened wild. Not too much. We already pretty much hit on everything. The first thing I have just a wild college football week. Unbelievable week.
Yeah, really
More
underrated.
than we ever could have expected. It was a phenomenal week. We had some great games. We had upsets. We had everything. And then one thing I have is Deion Sanders came out today. Um, Again, it's reported multiple times. When Shador Sanders scores a touchdown, he told the band they're not allowed to play the fight song. They have to put his rap song on the speakers. Deion, of course, being Deion, being the whole whatever they're doing out there.
Yeah,
Besides football, band can't play the fight song they've been playing for 60 years. We're gonna play if he scores a touchdown, if he passes or runs it, it's going to be a rap song. If the defense scores or makes a play, you can play the band song. But if my son scores a touchdown, we're playing his rap song.
yeah,
It's just more about them than the team. It just is what it is, in my opinion.
yeah. I won't go too much. It's just weird. You know what I mean? We didn't. That's not how we grew up.
I
It is
can't
what
imagine that
it's not
being
like the old
just
man.
about one player. Your kid, I get it. I mean, I've coached
Yeah,
for years.
I don't
Wouldn't
care, but
do it
there's no
for
doubt
one
those teammates probably care.
kid.
You know
It's
what I
a
mean?
team thing that's kind of weird. The band is that's yeah. So
You know,
that's pretty wild. So anything else stick out for you that was a little crazy?
I'm just gonna again because I'm a fan of them, but I don't know how on God's green earth Arizona was held to 6 points in the first half and down 10-6 to Northern Arizona as like a 46-point favorite. That was just to my mind blowing to me. I called a little bit late. They won 22-10. So no
22-10.
individual
Arizona
crazy plays.
on our recap from last week. Yeah, Arizona scored 10 out of 12 times against New Mexico,
Yeah,
and
they do
complete
that
opposite.
against other. They do that
They
against good teams.
61. No, Fafita, 61 points the
They were
first week
doing that
against
against good teams last year.
Northern Arizona. That's not
Well,
even.
they'll be only look ahead. Only look ahead. K State, man, them in K State on Friday night.
Gonna be good. Yep, it's gonna be good Friday. We'll do a
Very good.
preview show in a couple
Got to
days
give us a
here.
good Friday a week. We don't need
And then
NFL,
last,
and I'm not going to any high school football games. So give us a Friday
yeah,
night.
yep. And then well, before my last loser, real quick here. Florida won
They
the
did.
Gators.
They had a quarterback that threw for what 468, which is 20 short of their
35
record in the
steps.
game.
Florida won. We'll just touch on that real quick. Like they beat
Yep.
Samford. I mean, that's they
Oh, what a win! Yeah, what a win!
so
Amazing.
Florida's a 1 game winning streak. We'll see what they can do. Yeah.
Well, first win since you realize it was 7 straight, right? They didn't win since October last year.
Oh no, I did not.
They
That's
closed
not.
5 straight, missed the bowl, then lost this or closed 6
So
straight.
they
Yeah.
needed Stanford, even if they were supposed to play. I don't know Texas. You got to
Sorry, I want to say
play
6. Either way,
play Stanford. Play
horrible.
Stanford week 2. Get a win. No one has to watch it. Look at the score real quick. See
Yeah.
if a receiver has 200 yards or something crazy, and
Yep.
just put it away.
This
And
A
Graham
and
Mertz
M,
is he going to continue?
Florida is going to be one of them is going to be 1-2, and that's just a really bad start
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Where's that game at?
at Florida.
At Florida.
You know, a lot of
So is Graham Mertz? Is Graham Mertz
Mertz is
back
going
or
to
is he?
start and play, and we'll see how much the kid
All right.
gets his. You know,
Yeah, he's a
they're in
freshman.
a tough
He's a
spot though
freshman. He
because
didn't come from anywhere.
like part of Mullen's downfall was he didn't get Richardson in when everybody thought. Well, a lot of people thought he should have, just because Jones couldn't win them big games, and Richardson was such a stud. Mertz has been an awesome leader. He really has. He's been front and center. They've had him all over the social media. He's working. He's outworking everybody, and he's good. He's 73% passing last year. He had like 3,000 yards. He
Oh,
had
he was great.
one of the least pick
I liked him
rates.
a lot.
However,
They
and
come
I
back
like him.
against was it Tennessee or Kentucky? They came back last year. Unbelievable comeback from Mertz. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah,
I do too.
but
I hope he
the
figures
kid's
it
a
out.
stud. Lagway's a total stud. So I don't know if it's
Wow.
like Leak and Tebow or what we're talking. I don't want to like go
Might need
there,
it.
but I'm
Yeah,
just
you
saying,
might need
or Richardson with Jones, but that could lose you your job. I
whole new
mean, I don't
season if
know.
they beat A&M. So we'll get into that in a preview
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
up.
Well,
The
plus
game.
the idea that because Mertz is not even like like a really a willing runner. He will, but Lagway can run, and he'll try.
Yeah.
If he sees a little dude, he'll try to run him over. So whole different dynamic. If they can, which teams struggle to do, if they can do both, jostle it and get it right. But is Billy Napier going to go get that right? He gets so many other things wrong. Now you're going to tell me, oh, he's going to get that right. Where what quarterback's in and what play and what down, and then they're not getting false start penalties or not snapping it in time because they don't know what quarterback's in. That's the kind of stuff they do. So it'd be shocking to see he can juggle that correctly when they can't do so many other things correctly.
Yeah. No, let's see if we can
You
get a
know.
turnaround
So
week
anyway,
next
yep.
week. Big week next week. And then last loser, Appalachian State. Obviously, 17 years ago. I guess a week ago from today, I believe,
Shock the
17 years
world.
ago was when they beat Michigan. We were at the wiffle ball tournament. They beat Michigan, and that was the first big breakthrough from like an FCS or a D1 AA team
Yeah.
that came up and had the big upset. And it was a 16-point spread. They're 16-point dogs against Clemson. With 2 minutes left in the second quarter, they're down 56-10. Like they're all the other teams that follow in their footsteps. They're looking, Liberties and all these other teams like App State. That's a shame. They just got
Yeah.
crushed.
Yeah.
56-10 in the second quarter. They led the way, and they might be, other small schools might be the first one to make it into the playoffs. So, unfortunately, especially
Yeah.
after Clemson coming off a horrible week, but I guess that played into it. So,
No doubt.
I hate to make them a loser. They're a small school, but they had some
Well, for the
potential.
hopes that you had for
To
them, yeah,
be
exactly.
down 46 in less than a half when you're a 16-point dog, that's tough.
Yeah, it is.
So, unfortunately, good school.
Fair.
Um,
Good wrap up.
yeah. Anything else?
Not really. We knocked it all out. I think pretty good. We really touched on it all. It was just a surprising, very good week from what was supposed to be the lowest bar schedule wise, and here we are.
Yeah.
Now we're into real true conference play, especially for the big conferences and that are
Should be
playing.
exciting.
It's gonna be great.
Well,
It's great.
should be crazy. So we can't wait for next week. This was not supposed to be one of the most exciting weeks of the year. It was.
Post cap
I
recap.
can't believe what's going to be in store for us in October and coming months. It's going to be
Just getting
insane.
rolling.
It's going to be nuts. So again, from
Good job.
Chicago, Illinois, PMAC out there in Medford Lake,
Way
New
to lead the
Jersey,
way.
we got Weeze. Thanks for everyone that watches this. Feel free to share it, comment. We'll talk to you guys. Yeah, enjoy next week. We'll have a preview coming out in a couple days. It should be out by Friday for week 3 preview.
Yep.
And that's it. Let's hope for another good one.
Watch that on Friday when you watch this with college football.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Awesome.
Powered
All right.
by Riverside. I got the Jets winning tonight. We'll see. They already started. Don't tell me anything. Let's see if Aaron Rodgers, the one kid, real quick on the Jets, if he gets hurt in the first 4 plays like last year, the Barstool media kid, he's going to go to NFL headquarters with a bomb. He threatened he's going to blow up NFL headquarters with a bomb on his chest. So again, we've been doing the show. We'll see if it happened. Craziness. I hope Aaron Rodgers comes back, has a good season. Hope they win tonight. We'll see what happens. So,
Sure.
all right. Can't wait for college football next week.
Great.
It's going to start soon. We'll be back in a couple days.
Good job, dude.